Welcome to the deep dive. So you've sent us quite a bit of material covering, well, the life, the career, and the really complex end of Michael Madsen.
Yeah, an actor whose presence, I mean, it really defined a lot of 90s cinema, didn't it?
Absolutely. And the news of his passing back in July, that hit hard for a lot of people. What we're looking at today, it feels like more than just an obituary.
Hmm. It seems like a pretty sobering look at the cost. The price paid for channeling that kind of raw energy on screen.
Great. So our mission here really is to trace that trajectory. It was challenging, wasn't it? From his start in Chicago through those iconic kind of menacing roles.
Yeah.
And then right up to the details around his death, he was 67.
And that final context, the death itself, that's really the core of this deep dive, I think. We can confirm the central tragic detail right away. Michael Madsen died at home in Malibu, July 3rd, 2025.
Confirmed as cardiac arrest.
Confirmed as cardiac arrest, yes.
Yeah.
But the analysis in these materials, it really pushes back against the idea that this was just some, sudden random thing.
Right.
It argues that in Hollywood, the sources of tragedy, they're rarely just one thing. They build up. Hearts don't just stop, the argument goes. They're broken, maybe slowly, over years. Years of pressure, personal struggle.
That really sets a powerful frame, doesn't it? A story defined by this tension. Incredible talent on one side and this huge consuming shadow on the other.
It's that tension, exactly, between the screen persona and the actual man. And it seems like it really starts way back with his upbringing.
Okay, let's go there. Back to the beginning. Where did that edge come from? That simmering threat we saw on screen. He was born Michael Søren Madsen, September 25th, 1957, in Chicago.
Right.
And the materials paint his childhood as, well, fascinating, but also pretty conflicting.
Yeah, his family life had these really strong contrasts.
Yeah.
You often see that with creative, strong-willed parents, right? His mother, Elaine Madsen, she was a writer, a poet.
Oh, okay. The artistic side.
Exactly, the sensitivity. And then his father, Søren Madsen, a firefighter. Solid Norwegian roots, resilience, that physical toughness.
So fire and poetry.
Kind of, yeah. But then his parents divorced when he was, what, about 9?
Yeah, 9 years old.
And that structure just collapses. He said himself he grew up in a storm of drama.
And the sources seem to suggest that chaos fed directly into his acting method later on.
It really seems like it did. He had this street-level grit. There's a quote from him that feels like a thesis statement for his whole career, almost.
Yeah.
He said, "I was the kid who fought in school because words didn't work." That difficulty, putting feelings into words.
Translated into something.
Exactly. A physical, contained menace. That became his trademark. It felt like a really unfiltered emotional reaction. By the time he's a teenager, we're talking the 70s, he's apparently already doing his own tattoos.
Wow.
And then, chasing that acting dream, he heads to Los Angeles. He was only 17. Started taking theater classes.
17. Moving to LA, knowing no one. That takes some serious singular focus, even if the path wasn't exactly glamorous at first.
Oh, definitely not glamorous. The grind was brutal, apparently. He didn't just become Mr. Blonde overnight.
No.
The materials detail years of working in bars, taking tiny, awesome, thankless roles. We're talking, like, uncredited extra work in War of the Worlds, the 83 version.
Oh, okay.
And a little part, though memorable, in The Hitcher, he really paid his dues, keeping that raw energy simmering, just waiting for the chance to really let it loose.
And that chance, that moment, it finally arrived in 1991, partnering with a director who just knew how to capture that cool danger.
Quentin Tarantino.
Quentin Tarantino, Reservoir Dogs, Mr. Blonde. I mean, that role, it's arguably the moment that defined his entire legacy.
It is the defining role, because it wasn't just acting. It felt like a revelation, a new kind of screen villain.
Yeah.
And that scene, it's iconic for a reason. You've got this psychopath, totally unfazed, just casually dancing.
Skeeler's wheel,
Yeah.
stuck in the middle with you.
Yeah. While getting ready to, torture a top, it just showed his ability to make violence feel quiet,
Patient.
terrifyingly mundane.
It's the stillness, too. That contrast between the smooth dance moves and the brutal intent. And his voice.
Oh, the voice. He became as much a part of the character as the razor blade, didn't it? That low, gravelly sound.
Yeah.
The sources describe it perfectly, I think, like tires on a rough road. It gave every line, even casual ones, this weight, this threat.
Tarantino obviously saw that.
Oh, absolutely. Tarantino recognized that power. He summed it up once, saying, Michael is pure, untamed energy. He doesn't play a villain. He becomes one.
He becomes one. That suggests a deeper level, doesn't it? Not just acting like a monster, but tapping into something real.
Exactly. A kind of immersion, channeling some internal truth.
What's interesting in these materials, too, is how they break down his different Tarantino roles. It wasn't just the pure malice of Mr. Blonde. He had range.
That's a really crucial point, and one that maybe gets overlooked sometimes. That collaboration obviously cemented his career. It continued with Pulp Fiction in '94.
Right, Vincent Vega.
Vincent Vega. And the materials suggests maybe a deeper character arc there. Like a boxer with a poet's soul, almost.
Yeah.
He brought this weary kind of melancholy to that role.
Yeah, you could see that.
Showed a capacity for an internal life that Mr. Blonde just didn't have.
Yeah.
Even though, well, he meets an equally violent end.
But maybe more ironically mundane, right? Dying stupidly from a gut shot.
Exactly. And then, of course, Kill Bill, Bud, Bill's brother. Another layer of that world-weary, slightly broken menace.
Those three roles, they really put him in film history. But the materials remind us he was incredibly prolific outside of Tarantino. Over 150 films.
It's a phenomenal output. Think of the constant work, the travel, the effort involved. And he showed diversity, too, you know?
Right.
Films like Donnie Brasco.
Free Willy.
Free Willy, yeah. And even the 2001 Planet of the Apes.
Yeah.
But as his career exploded through the 90s and early 2000s, the sources seemed to indicate that the personal chaos from his early life started to catch up with the man off screen.
Yeah, this is where the story takes that really sharp, painful turn, isn't it? The fire he channeled as Mr. Blonde, it started kind of mirroring his own life. The source calls his private life chaotic, full of fire.
It sounds like a real whirlwind of instability. He went through 3 marriages, Jackie Lawson, Gina Heilig, Deanna Gudger, and he was a father to 6 kids.
Including Christian and Cody, yeah.
Right. But underneath that professional hustle, there were these deep, very public battles with addiction. They really became hallmarks of his mid-career.
We're talking multiple DUI arrests, right? Chronic alcohol use. The material points specifically to a really bad breakdown in 2012.
Yeah, apparently bad enough that it got him dropped from talks for the Halloween movies.
Yeah.
This wasn't just private struggle anymore. It was impacting his career.
Yeah.
Volatility.
Yeah.
And the analysis suggests this cycle, maybe self-destruction, it was pretty constant. Kind of an echo of the characters he often played. But the single biggest flow, the tragedy that the sources really suggest he never fully recovered from.
His son.
Yeah. The death of his son, Hudson. An overdose back in 2007.
Oh, man. Losing a child like that, especially when you're already fighting your own demons, that weight must be almost unbearable.
It clearly just tore him apart. He talked about it sometimes really honestly. Gut-wrenching stuff. There was that Joe Rogan podcast interview where he just said, flat out, it tore me apart.
Wow.
And even though he made public efforts towards sobriety, recovery, later on around 2019, the materials indicate that the combined weight of that grief, the years of addiction, the career ups and downs, it all really defined his final years.
Which brings us to, well, the professional context of the 2020s, the time leading up to his death in 2025. The sources note a definite shift in his career, right? Less Tarantino.
Yeah, more B-movies, roles in shows like Animal Kingdom. But this shift, it brought its own kind of stress. Different kind.
How so?
Well, this is a key insight, I think, into the reality of Hollywood stardom, especially for character actors. The source focuses a lot on the pressure, the weight of fading contracts after 50. For someone who was highly bankable, the quality of roles starts decreasing, maybe dramatically, but the need to work, that doesn't go away. So it meant constant hustling. Lower budget stuff.
Right.
He was apparently filming some indie project in Nevada just shortly before he died. The observation is that he seemed perpetually overwhelmed, exhausted maybe, by just the sheer volume of work needed to keep things going, maintain his lifestyle, his relevance.
You've got intense professional strain layered on top of decades of personal strain. How did it all finally culminate on July 3rd, 2025?
The details paint a very quiet end, almost stark. A real contrast to his explosive screen life. Neighbors in Malibu, they were used to the rhythm of his life, apparently, and they noticed it was too heavy, a silence coming from his house.
Heavy. Wow.
Yeah, so they called the authorities. Police went in, found him unresponsive, living room floor.
And the cause of death was confirmed quickly as cardiac arrest.
Yes, cardiac arrest. And crucially, police confirmed no foul play was suspected. It was the silence, wasn't it? After all the noise and drama of his life and career, the silence is what raised the alarm.
Cardiac arrest is the medical cause, okay. But the source material really pushes us, doesn't it, to look beyond that. It offers some compelling ideas, hypotheses really, about what truly led to his body giving out.
Yeah, if you look at the broader picture of his health, the sources suggest this kind of lethal mix, genetics and lifestyle.
Genetics.
Well, one analysis points to possible family history. His father was a firefighter, remember, suggesting maybe potential underlying heart issues in the family. But the unavoidable factor is the decades of lifestyle choices.
So drinking, the smoking.
Heavy alcohol use, smoking, yeah. And the toll of just sleepless nights.
Yeah.
Wrestling with internal stuff, professional anxiety. It's hard not to think of that dark joke he apparently made.
What was that?
I drink to remember my characters' faces. It kind of chillingly suggests his work and his pain were just deeply intrinsically linked.
Wow. And the moment he passed, it immediately triggered this huge look back, didn't it? Trying to define his place in cinema. He wasn't just the supporting player.
No, not at all. He was defined in some pieces as the soul of those films that really launched that modern wave of independent cinema. His performance wasn't just interchangeable.
Right.
The analysis emphasizes his work was the anchor for Tarantino's whole early vision of cool. And Tarantino's own reaction, that simple tweet, it summed it up perfectly.
What did he say?
Just, Mike, you are my favorite monster.
Powerful.
Yeah. The family shows privacy, private funerals. But the public reaction, you saw #RI Michael Madsen trending everywhere. It's just confirmed how deep that loss felt for fans of that kind of raw cinema.
So we end this deep dive really grappling with that tension again, don't we? The powerful legacy on screen and the complex, quiet reality of his end. It's a profound loss for anyone who appreciates that kind of visceral, uncompromising performance.
It certainly is. But the source material, it does leave us with one final kind of provocative thought. It goes beyond just one man's tragedy and looks at the industry itself.
Okay.
The idea that this system, it consumes its own. We have to ask, right, how many more hearts are going to break under this fame machine? The materials really question the support available, especially for veterans.
That's a crucial point. We talk a lot now about the mental toll on young stars, trying to put support systems in place, mental health breaks.
Exactly. But what about the seasoned veteran? The actor who's carrying years of baggage, decades of intense roles, and now they're facing the stress of maybe fading relevance, constant hustling.
Does Hollywood owe them the same level of support? Is that the question?
It's exactly the question the source poses. Should veterans get the same kind of mental breaks, the systemic support that we're increasingly talking about for younger stars? If someone like Michael Madsen had access to maybe mandated, consistent support, tailored to deal with that accumulated trauma, the stress of those fading contracts,
Yeah.
would the outcome have been different? It forces you to look at the real cost of being America's favorite monster on screen. And often the cost is the person underneath that persona.
A heavy thought, but maybe a necessary one. Reflecting on the mechanics of fame, fortune, and what gets left behind. Well, thank you for helping us really unpack the life and legacy of Michael Madsen today.
Yeah, absolutely.
Until next time, keep asking those difficult questions.